What obstacles do most students face when they're trying to decide what they're going to do?
I think you know I think students have this idea of I have to make a decision now, and whatever I decide is going to be what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I think that in itself is a very scary thought for a lot of students. In truth, research again states that students will, start this direction and then do a lateral move and then go up and then do another move. I mean, the career paths are no longer this even trajectory of a starting position and working your way up. So I think that idea of some sort of finality to what you're deciding to do after high school, I think scares a lot of students. In truth, I would encourage students to try to just think about trying a path, and if it doesn't work out, trying something different. As I stated in one of your other questions, I had tried a few different majors before I settled on psychology, and so I think students figuring out what they want to do. The second part that I think is a huge roadblock is how are they going to afford it. Some students obviously have well-to-do families and have financial backing. Other students do not, and so it's kind of a struggle to figure out how you're going to pay for school. And the idea of having student loans is often very scary as well, having to pay back money. In truth, I had to take out student loans. In truth, I'm still paying them off, but in my opinion, getting a job or getting an education to get to the job that you actually want and having some money that you have to pay back is much better than working some job that you have no real interest in, but you don't have any debt to pay. If that makes any sense. And so I think those are the two main roadblocks to students today.
So, what did you do after high school?
I went to CSU, mainly because my parents told me I had to go to college, and it really wasn't an option for me to not go to college. I really had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. And so I wound up going to CSU, I think mainly because they accepted me. Uh, and struggled with majors. I thought to myself maybe I could build a hotel and run it. So I was like, maybe I could do resort and restaurant management. Didn't really fit for me. I tried construction management, really didn't fit for me. I had taken a psychology class and really enjoyed it. My father was a psychologist, and so I kind of just kept taking those classes and wound up getting my bachelor's in psychology. The thing is, with a bachelor's in psychology, there's really not a lot of job opportunities unless you want to go into education or human resources. And so I wound up having to get my master's several years later. I took a good significant time between my undergraduate and graduate, and I did the Peace Corps in a place called the Republic of Kiribati, which nobody's ever heard of, and kind of found my way. So I took a very untraditional route to get to where I am now.
What do you recommend students do after they leave high school?
Um, for me, I think I want students to kind of find their passion. I think that satisfaction in life is often related to what we do on a day-to-day basis. I think we as a society here in America put so much emphasis on what we do as a career, and I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing or not, but I think students who have a passion or can find a passion, I think those are the students that are going to find more contentment in life. Now, obviously, some people work a job that just pays the bills, and they find their passion or their contentment outside of their workplace. And that's fine. That's great. If you can find a job that you enjoy doing, I think that's what I recommend. Um, and then it's just figuring out how to get there. In truth, for some students, what I talk about is if you're unsure of what you want to do, maybe go to a trade school or get a certificate in a field that pays really well. For example, um, cosmetology, doing hair, doing makeup, doing that kind of thing. If you get in the right situation, you could be potentially making $60 an hour, cutting hair. If you do that for a while and then you decide to go back to school, then awesome. Now you have a job that can help pay, for your tuition at whatever university. Same thing with plumbers or HVAC technicians or electricians, right? Having some sort of skill set where you can, make money. And there's this idea behind high touch jobs. So high touch jobs are jobs that are always going to be in demand. That's nursing, physical therapy, anything electric, plumbing, anything around the house, things that you actually have to put your hands on it will always be around. Anything that can be outsourced is going to be outsourced. And so having that to always fall back on, I think, is a great idea.
What do most students do after they get out of high school?
So, our data suggests that about 62% of students last year went on to a 4-year college, and about 5% went to a 2-year technical school. The remainder either went military or did not give us information in terms of what they were doing after high school. To me, that's a significant amount of kids, around 30% of kids that we really have no idea what they wound up doing after high school. I think the 4-year option is the traditional route, but I think more and more students are recognizing that a community college or vocational school is just as valuable, if not more appropriate for them.
Okay.
There are many different opportunities and paths towards success that you can take, of which some can take a lot more time, but can bring you various degrees of wealth and satisfaction in your life. The original path that most parents will tell you to take is a 4-year college or university, which can give you the edge over your soon-to-be fellow workforce. However, if you don't want to go all in on a 4-year, you can always take a 2-year college degree if you don't feel prepared for a 4-year. This can both give you a degree, and if you decide to continue on for a 4-year, you can. However, schooling isn't the only thing you can go into, as the military is another option that is always open to you, though the military isn't for everyone, and college can be expensive. So you can also always take a gap year to be able to make money before entering college, or just go directly into the workforce. Though without a degree, it may be harder for students to achieve this.